When it comes to planning a retreat, there's ways to get it to go from average to incredibly transformative. Welcome to Retreat Boss, where we speak about inspired travel for fun, transformation, and profit. Guest experts will give you their tips and tricks on creating the most impactful retreats, both for you and your clients. Whether you want a meditative getaway, a wellness trip, or a business escapade, we provide you with the best advice in organizing and hosting a tremendous event. Join Catherine Kontos as she talks with fellow experts about creating exclusive and successful retreats. Dive deep into the most unique activities, the best destinations to visit, and the most uplifting trips out there that you can discover. Here is your host, Catherine Kontos. Jen Corley is the Director of Development at WeTravel, a booking and payment solutions company. Jen, welcome to Retreat Boss, the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to join today.
Jen, I've been also not a podcast guest on WeTravel. It was on Facebook. I don't know if you consider that a podcast or not, but I really enjoyed being a guest on WeTravel. My subject was about negotiations with sponsors and getting free travel. So I'm really happy to return the favor because I really appreciate WeTravel. It really, before I even asked to be a guest and all of that, I really enjoyed the value that you all bring to any traveler or any retreat expert. There's a lot of articles, a big library of stuff that people can go look at. And I've never seen so much value that a company gives out as much as WeTravel. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, that's great to hear. I love our company. And I think one of the things that we have gotten right is a huge kind of investment and value decision around providing a lot of educational content. So we recently launched our WeTravel Academy, and it has, to your point, tons of audio, video, articles, useful, hopefully, ebooks and other downloads. And I'm excited to be a part of that. And it's really rewarding to hear that that you personally have found some stuff there that you thought was worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely. I think all of your stuff is so helpful. How long have you been with the company?
I've been with them for quite a while, 6 years now. So I've been through, I joined when our founders were in San Francisco. They're now based in Amsterdam. We now have a team of 50 plus people kind of all around the world. And so it's been a lot of evolution over 6 years, and, still the same sort of core values with the team, but it's been really fun to see the product grow and our reach grow, and also just meet different colleagues from all around the world, because our team's pretty spread out in terms of nationalities and languages and all that.
Amazing. So you're one of the originals. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Amazing. So you've really seen, that's nice to grow with the company. I love that. I really do. Yeah. What did it start off as? Was it always what it is today, or did it start off as something else?
Yeah, it's actually, the founding story is really fascinating. Our CEO is Swiss, and he worked for the Red Cross in Central Asia, sort of a few years after college, but he had these sort of breaks during the year that he had sabbaticals where he would take groups of Europeans, kind of friends and family, on travel across different parts of Central Asia. And so he did that, and as kind of a semi-professional travel organizer, realized that there was so much kind of pain that went into group trips, lots of spreadsheets, lots of annoying chasing people down for money. And there was no sort of all-in-one solution to that. So that was the kind of kernel of the idea. It's still very true to where we are today. But obviously, as all startups do, you sort of find your audience, you find what's really valuable to them, and you continue to, take that feedback and grow. So yes, the product has definitely evolved and changed, and I think gotten better. But in terms of his original experience, he had that personal experience. He met our other two founders are from Indonesia and Azerbaijan. So they really just wanted to come together and build this product that would allow people to organize travel more easily. Yeah, so it's still at the core of who we are. And then in building their team, they've been really able to kind of bring that to life in terms of bringing people together as a company. So yeah, I'm thrilled to still be part of it from day one to now.
So right now it is a booking, so people can go on there and book their group travel, right?
So the tool is meant for the providers of the creators of the travel experiences, whether that's a retreat leader or a company that does adventure tours, anything group travel, anything multi-day, and everything from individual organizers, maybe yoga teachers that do this twice or three times a year, up through big companies that have, thousands of clients and, departures every single week of the year. So it's like a pretty diverse space. Yeah. And then, as you said, it's the booking and payment engine. So usually embedded in somebody's website or on a standalone booking page. But the idea is then the members of the group can go on, can book in a really like user-friendly way. And for the organizers, the provider of the travel experience, there's all kinds of booking management and operational and fund transfer tools that are meant to sort of save money, save time, and also just kind of make the experience a little bit easier and more streamlined for them and for their teams.
So you make life easier for the retreat expert. And I want to know, recently you went on a retreat, the WeTravel company. Mm-hmm. I want to know what you guys are like at planning a retreat.
That is so funny because it's like, sometimes you hit the nail on the head. Our engineers sometimes have the most technical issues of anybody. And I would say there were some things that were challenging about, we're a startup, so everyone is wearing a lot of hats. We don't have an in-house person in charge of this. So one of our product managers who's also been with us for quite a long time, she got nominated to sort of plan this. She did a fantastic job, but working with people coming from every corner of the globe, different countries, different visa situations, COVID was a reality. We had to test before and upon departure. So I think she did everything right, but I know it was a big task and asked her to sort of like do something that was totally outside her job description. So, but we used WeTravel to get everybody registered and put all the information together and everything. So so it provided a good opportunity for us to personally.
I know about this company that can actually help you plan a retreat.
Yes. No.
So maybe next time. Just joking. Yeah. Not really. Yeah. I'm not joking. So that's interesting. And how was that as a corporate retreat, like being now in, just being in our feet, in our, like environment? How did you feel that created, like, how did that help the culture of your company? Or, I don't know what the point of the retreat was, if there was a certain goal, but do you feel it made a huge difference or not much, or what kind of a difference it made to be in that kind of environment?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's actually something that we have done other than when COVID prohibited it. We've done it every year. So the first year we went to Bali, I think we were like 16 people. And then so on, we've been to Portugal, we've now been to Turkey, we've been to Amsterdam. So every year the group size has grown a bit. And the experience, like when our founders decided this would be, sort of like an annual ritual for our company, it was all about kind of, because we were remotely distributed from the beginning. So that was like one thing in COVID that we didn't have to overcome. We were already all distributed across different time zones. But the idea is like remote teams are great, but it's hard over Zoom or whatever to kind of like forge the personal connection. So of course, every time we get together as a group, there are like deep strategy sessions and, a lot of like actual work that happens during the week. But I would say like the evenings and the conversations around the pool and kind of just like the informal getting to know colleagues, it makes our teams work so much better, across different time zones, and to understand each other better, that it's remarkable to see kind of the productivity that happens in the like few months after the retreat. Everyone is very energized, really excited about working together. And yeah, for any companies that have the opportunity to do this, teams big or small, I think it's like money really, really well spent, because it's not cheap, but it's definitely, I feel like it's worth like absolutely every dollar spent.
Yeah, it's leaps and bounds. That's what I call a retreat. It leaps and bounds into getting to your goal very quickly. And especially now because of COVID and there's so much more remote working, your company has been based kind of like that, right? Remote from the beginning. But a lot of companies had to pivot that way throughout COVID. And a lot of them are planning on staying at least half time remote. And I think it's a really good way, especially with the world expanding and internet and all of the remote work that does happen internationally. It's a great way to get meetings, to get groups, different groups, teams, people to meet and create that synergy of everything, whether it's strategy or brainstorming or just, enforcing that company culture. So I appreciate you talking about that because I know that, being in the position that WeTravel is, it's very important to have that. Tell me a little bit more about what you have found throughout the 6 years that you've been working there. Your clients, what, you said payment is a pain. Like what is it that you feel somebody should do as a strategy when it comes to all these booking and payments? You guys have the strategy down. So what is it that they should know before trying to figure it out all on their own?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people getting their feet wet and offering retreats, you can focus. A lot of people I see focusing a lot on kind of the journey in person, and that is absolutely paramount to put together a really thoughtful program that's great and focus energy there and make sure that that's everything is really well put together. But I think where sometimes people underestimate what's required or don't tackle it quite as rigorously is kind of everything that happens in terms of the planning and the marketing and the kind of query back and forth and kind of the journey with the people that ultimately sign up. I mean, really, their journey starts the moment they begin interacting with you, unless they're a long-term client of yours. And so, just making sure that you are planning your time accordingly, understanding kind of what financially you need to make out of the retreat in order to make all of that time. Make sure you're compensated for it. And then, yeah, to your point about our solution and where it fits in is like anything you can do to kind of make your job slightly easier, whether that's leveraging technology, leveraging knowledge of peers and communities who have been through this before and have, some really good insights to share and some, with tools, some efficiencies to be gained. That all can just kind of make your life a little bit easier, your experience doing this a little bit easier. And then I think that ultimately translates, as we were just talking a second ago, into the kind of full experience for the client, not just when they're there, but, before in preparation, during, and then after, they go off. They had an amazing experience. They're super excited to do it again and tell all their friends about it. And that's kind of, it is really a lot more than just the week or the long weekend or the 2 weeks that you're kind of in destination on retreat.
What do you feel for people that think like, I don't want to spend that extra money going through a booking agency or what you offer? What do you tell people in cases like that?
So interesting, because a lot of people might think, oh, I have to outsource this and sort of like pay for it. That's going to be money out of my pocket. But actually, if you kind of look at if you're going to be taking payments online, other than like checks or Venmo or something more informal, PayPal, friends and family, those are free solutions. But WeTravel is actually not much more expensive because there's an option to do ACH transfer. So our fee is 1%. If you've ever collected payments online, that's pretty much among the cheapest you can do.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
So that's what our fee is. And then for your students or your participants or your retreat goers signing up, when they pay online, they can pay by direct transfer from their bank account. That's no fee to them. Or they can pay by credit card, in which case they elect to pay the credit card fee, which is generally 2.9% in the US. It's a little lower in Europe. It's a little higher if it's Amex. But they take that on if they opt out of paying by bank transfer. Generally, it's not a excessive cost situation relative to other online payments. But again, it is a little more than just doing it like purely the old fashioned way in terms of having somebody Venmo you or something like that.
And does that include putting up like a landing page or I don't know what?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. So the 1% of the fees run through the system is the fee. And then that comes with the ability to build either an embedded checkout on your website if you have a sales page on your website, or a WeTravel hosted standalone booking page that some people want to use because they're doing a collaboration and they don't want to put it on one website or the other, or there's a lot of different use cases why you might want to do that, or you just don't want to build out a new landing page. Both of those kind of scenarios of how people would buy, that's included in the 1% of the fees transacted.
Okay, that's great. Honestly, 1% is not very much for all the hassle that you're going to avoid, the headaches. It's all there. Everybody pays, you're done. You don't have to chase anybody. I'm assuming there's reminders for the payments as well when the time is due and all of that. So that's great. Where do you see, how has it been for you? Like with COVID-19, I know everybody got hit really hard this past, especially in this business. Do you see the light? I see the light, but do you see the light? Like, do you see a difference already, or do you just foresee a difference coming up?
No, we already see a difference. And I think this is one of these things about working in a global company, because the reality on the ground is so different depending where you are geographically. Mm-hmm. If you're in the southern or the northern hemisphere, if you're in cold season or not. So where I live, we're still pretty, I'm in Oakland, California. We're still pretty, careful, masked up. Not a ton of people are traveling, but I have colleagues in Europe that their borders have been totally open. They've been on multiple international trips. So when you have that global view, you realize like people are already starting to travel. And even if you're in one of the geographies, it's a little bit locked down. The demand is so pent up for travel, especially travel that's immersive, transformative, allows you to connect with other people, and retreats are all of those things, obviously, that we're not only seeing bookings already, scaling up, but we're also just seeing, even when on our platform, we haven't maybe seen all the funds go through, the full booking cycle. We're seeing the bookings increase, but the leading indicator of just like the amount of retreats and other trips that are being built out for being marketed in the next quarter or so, that has really skyrocketed. And I feel like that's really the leading indicator in terms of, yes, people are going to be buying travel in droves in like the very, very near future. So to be ready, it's time to make sure you're specking out, where you would want to go, vendors you want to work with, because they may have been wanting and hurting for business for a long time, but they're going to be flooded very shortly with people wanting to visit and work with them.
The prediction is the fall that's where we're going to see that big wave of travel happening. Is that what you see with your numbers as well? Is it the fall?
I think so. Fall is typically a fairly busy time for us overall. But I think it's, again, a little bit of geography, because if you talk to people in Australia, it's like certainly probably going to be, seasonally, or anybody in the Southern Hemisphere is probably before that. But if we're talking North America and Europe, I think, yes, late summer to early fall will kind of have the full benefit of hopefully emergence out of COVID, plus still good weather and travel season and all of that. So I think I'm pretty optimistic about summer, to be honest, as well. But cautiously, I might say, yeah, we'll see a big bump in fall.
Do you blame us not being, being cautious, right? It's every time we're about to, something happens. So, but the thing is, what the difference I see this time is all the experts are saying the same thing. So everybody seems to be in agreement, right? Where before there was always a bit of caution, but we were optimistically thinking, well, maybe I kind of see, but now I find all the, whether it's the travel industry, whether it's health, whether it's governments, and you see the action being taken. It's all going that way. So I think we're right. I think you're right here on saying that. And I'm glad you guys are seeing the numbers as well rising within your platform. So that's very promising to hear for me, as a retreat expert as well. So what are the plans? Is there any new plans coming along with WeTravel? Anything that you guys are excited about that you'd like to announce here?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about COVID that like silver lining is it let some of our company resources really focus on trying to like have an ear to the ground for our customers, both current and future customers, understanding what they, wanted, needed, desired, both in a vacuum and in terms of how the world has frankly changed a little bit in terms of COVID. So, I mean, I think there's been like a lot, without going too far into the weeds, there's been a lot of time that we've had to like tinker with the product and make it even better. So that's been really exciting. But in terms of kind of a big initiative or area that we're going into that I think is really cool is that as we're growing as a company, we have more and more people in our network from more and more countries. And so while historically, a lot of the value add has been in the booking and the payment and the admin management, there's also a whole bunch of potential in terms of our vendor network. So as that grows, you'll, be able to instantly send payments to vendors. This is already possible, but it's not quite like grown to the extent that I think it's going to grow in the COVID recovery. So being able to both transfer funds, communicate with, and also potentially source vendors, in a very specific geography. Say you're going to Greece and on one specific island, you want to go into WeTravel and say, okay, what vendors are there and available for me? And then eventually peer reviews and all that stuff. So we have a huge vision in terms of this like networked payment solution for travel providers. So connecting hopefully your audience of people that are really interested in retreats that with other folks that they might, want to do business with in terms of producing their retreats, making them come to life. I think that's really exciting. And we'll just be kind of, nothing will change about our core product, but it will open up new opportunities and kind of hopefully support our user base in a slightly different way. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Amazing. Sounds like another pain point that you guys are hitting on, which is awesome. You know what? I think that anybody who's listening should make their life easier and use, programs like your like WeTravel to just make life easier. It's all there. And why not, right? Like, why make your life? And, the thing is, maybe they don't even know. And now they know. So,
Yeah.
Now they know there's a solution. So I'm really happy that you came on here. Thank you so much for providing us all the information that WeTravel has been doing and is going to continue to do. It's exciting. I'm excited for your team. I'm excited for my team and the entire travel industry because we've been waiting so long and for things to open up. So I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be, up to and exploding and all of that, because you will. I know it. You know it too.
Thank you so much.
It too.
It's great to be in conversation with you. Like you are so insightful, and we really enjoyed having you talk in our Retreat Leader Hub group, a few months back. And yeah, thank you for inviting me to talk with you today. I think it's a really exciting time where, of course there's some unknowns, but that's why hopefully we're putting more than one head together and trying to figure all this out in community together.
That's it. Okay, perfect. So good luck with everything. And I know we're going to be talking more. More. Take care, Jen.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Retreat Boss podcast. When it comes to achieving wellness and transformation, nothing is more effective and profound than a well-orchestrated retreat. Achieve huge revenue growth, one trip at a time. Want to learn more on expanding your business with retreats? Visit retreatboss.com, when profitable retreats are made easy. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show at retreatboss.com/podcast. Until next time, take care.